Hi there. I got a new revised logo from Billy Burt at his messy studio this week. So next time I'm going to have it up there replacing the one that's already there. And if you have a sticker you'd like to send me digitally or the real thing that I can scan, I'd like to get that from you. And I have some I can return to you too. Now today's project is a mystery wood. I have no idea what it is, and I'm hoping maybe you can help me with that. So let's take a look at what it is and see if you can figure it out. I have got a real strange piece of wood here. Strange looking. I have no idea what it is. I got this from my friend Dick, who didn't know what it's from. It looks to me like there's rings in here, this being the pith, which means this is the end grain. But if this is the end grain, then where did this come from? Was it at the top of a tree, the end of a limb? I mean, it looks like it could have been a burl cut off of the side of a tree, but then why do I have this strange figure in here? If you know what this is, feel free to let me know, because I have no idea. I'm really not sure what to do with it. So what I've decided to do is find the approximate center, drill a hole for my woodworm screw, put it on the lathe, and then drill a flat spot on here, because I want it to be able to sit flat, and I want to put a recess in there so I can put it on my lathe on the chuck in expansion mode. And then I think I want to leave pretty much all of this just like it is. If nothing else, it's certainly interesting looking. And then do a small bowl on the inside here. Straighten this up and just see what it'll look like. Try to figure out what kind of finish to put on this. So I'm going to drill that hole for the woodworm screw, and then I hope you'll join me at the lathe and let's see if we can figure out what's going on with this piece of wood. You can see when I spin this that I've marked the very center. Now I've taken my compass and set it to 1 1/8 of an inch, so I'll be able to get a 2 1/4 inch diameter circle here, which should fit my chuck I'm going to use in expansion mode. Not going to be perfect because this is not a smooth surface, but I'll be able to turn it and use my parting tool to define this size. That should be close enough to be able to see it. Now I'll get the parting tool and define this. Use a square edge recess cutter and get this ready for the chuck. It's not quite deep enough for my jaws of my chuck, so I'm going to do a little bit deeper. Alright, I think I might be deep enough. This is feeling like very hard wood as I'm trying to use the scraper. Alright, now I want to turn a flat area just so this has some place to sit. And I only want to turn it down until I get to this point, so I don't have to make this any deeper. I'll be turning at 1000 RPM is my 3/8 inch bowl gouge. I'd really like this to be flat across here, and I went too far here, which means I have to bring this down some. So I'll undoubtedly be making this a little deeper once I get this correct. I'll probably end up using a sanding board on here eventually to make sure it's real flat. All right, a lot closer. I'm going to make this a little deeper, then I'll put the sanding board to this, and I'll be back. I have my name and the date on the bottom with pyrography, and if I ever figure out what kind of wood this is, I can add that later. As you can see, it's reversed. I've tightened up the chuck in expansion mode as much as I dare. I don't want to split this wood. Now, because as you can see, I'm going to be turning a lot of air time, I've turned this up to 2000 RPM. And I have to flatten this out so that it's parallel with the back of the bowl. There's one thing I know for sure about this wood. It is hard. It's beating up my edge. I gotta go sharpen it again. Fresh edge off the Tormek. Let's see what this will do now. Alright, I think that's as good as I'm going to get it with the tool, with all the vibration. So I'm going to just sand this now, and then I'll come back to do the bowl. I sanded it to 320 grit, which is the finest sandpaper I have for my random orbit sander. This wood is incredibly hard and dense, and I just love the rays and the chatoyance that's in here. As I turn it, you can probably see how the light changes direction right within the wood. This is amazing. I would love to know what this wood is. Anyway, now I want to turn a bowl in here. Just trying to decide how big. I think that would be enough. Right about there. Now I'll start turning that. I'll be turning at 2000 RPM and using that same 3/8 inch bowl gouge. Wow, this wood is hard. It's already time to hone that gouge. Alright, it's a little bit rough in there. I'm gonna have to sand this, but that's the best I can seem to get. I've sanded the bowl up to 280 grit. Basically because I forgot to stop at 240 grit. I want the bowl to be a little glossier than the rest of the piece. So I'm going to use Tom Ackley's Axe Abrasive Paste and Axe Polishing Paste to do the interior of this. Then I think I will put some Shallow Wax on it as well, possibly get an even better gloss. After that's done, I'm going to give this a bath in mineral oil, and I'm kind of questioning on just how well it's going to penetrate because this is incredibly dense wood. But anyway, I will give it a shot. Now if you haven't seen me use Tom Ackley's pastes before, I'm not going to do it again. I've done it a number of times, but I'll put a link in the description box below the video so you can look at the review video that I did on his pastes. And when this is finished, I will be back to show you the final result. I finished it with Axe abrasive paste, then his polishing paste, and then I added some shallow wax. I don't think the shallow wax was really necessary as far as the gloss, but how can a little bit of friction polish do any harm? I'm really pleased with this. Now I'm going to give the whole thing a bath in mineral oil, and I'll come back to show you when that's finished. Well, I'm real pleased with this. I like how the bowl itself is a little more glossy than the outside. It's not a high gloss, but it's definitely got a nice sheen to it. And I still really want to know what this wood is. This is amazing. To be honest, when I first started, I wasn't too crazy about this, but I like it now, and I like that it's left natural. I have no idea what kind of bark was on here before, but if you can help me out telling me what this is, I would really appreciate it. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you'll come back next time. Hope you'll subscribe if you haven't done that before. Share this with friends if you like. And click the like button if you like what I'm doing. Let me know I'm doing something right. So between now and next time, when I hope you'll come back, have a wonderful day in your shop and be safe. Take care now.